Hey everybody, my name is Jason Sobczynski. I am the Chief Mechanical Officer for the Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation here in Irvine, Ravenna, Kentucky. And we're going to go over some of the things that we've been doing this year, starting with talking about the ties that are directly behind me, as well as some of the groundwork, work on the building, work on the locomotive. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your Midsummer 2020 update.
So Jason, the ties. What's going on here with the ties?
Okay, so with the ties, we needed more space to facilitate moving the 587 chassis out of the way so we can continue on with work on the 2716, including pulling the superheater units and the tubes and flues. We need room for a scrap dumpster in front of it for the tubes and flues. So I went through and with the help of Jonathan Shares, sorted through all of the ties that came out last year in the course of doing our track install and some of the grading work. Found more than enough really good, almost new ties that have been in the ground for a minimum of the last 30 years that we moved over here, installed, and are have ready for rail.
Awesome. Hey, now that we've looked on the outside of the shop, let's go inside and check out the locomotive.
Absolutely, come on. So as we talked about, things going on with the engine, we've got the exterior of the firebox being stripped down. The wrapper jacketing is already gone. If you look over here, earlier this year, thanks to a generous contribution from a friend of mine out in Nevada, we got the new side sheet material purchased. You see leaning up against the barrel. This late summer into fall will see us not only removing these sheets out of the locomotive, but fitting those, cutting them to size, getting them formed, and fitting them into the firebox and actually welding them in and re-riveting. So it's a really exciting thing. So even as we speak, we've got several of our volunteers over here working on dismantling the various bits and pieces that are still standing in the way of the getting the stay bolts out. So we're going to get the entire firebox stripped down before we actually start removing the inside sheets. I mean, I'm going to start cutting them out a little bit and whatever, but before we can remove the stay bolts, we have to have the exterior stripped down.
So Jason, what do you say to the folks that say, man, it doesn't seem like a whole lot's been going on at Kentucky Steam this year? Really, it's all been going on behind the scenes during COVID.
A ton of stuff has been going on here this year. Not all of it necessarily visible. We've been doing, like I mentioned earlier, we've been doing a lot of work on our infrastructure, on the building, getting the rest of the electrical systems back online. We have the fan for exhausting the shop functional again, and work has been going on in several of the areas of the office. We've had the grading for the concert venue done. We did the acid wash way earlier this year, and we're making strides towards getting the side sheets pulled out of the locomotive.
We've got new lights on the building, inside and outside the building as well.
We also have new lights on the exterior of the building, new security lighting. The old lights were early 90s, 1991 technology, sodium vapor, big 440 volt, 480 volt, whatever lights. They're those lights that put out the orange glow for people that have seen them in parking lots and whatnot. Well, now we've got 8 LEDs on the building. So for about what it costs to run one of those older type lights, we have more light for less money.
Let's check out what David's doing over here.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to take a look inside of what was originally the tool room and what will be the tool / nut and bolt, pipe fitting, and small machine tool room for us. So at some point, CSX had converted this to a lunchroom area, among other things. But David, who is one of my favorite Kentuckians, has been diligently working on this space. Late last year, I replaced the electrical panel that had been robbed out of the building at some point, and David, with the help of some, but he's like a dynamo, man. He just goes and goes and goes. So largely by himself, he stripped out this room that was within this room, a really heavily built little separate space, and has since gone in and replaced all of the drywall. In fact, he's continuing the process right now on the last part of the room that hasn't been done yet. But yeah, this is where all of our smaller machine tools will be. You know, Bridgeport milling machines, small lathes, drill presses, etc.
Pretty incredible. So like you said, just keeping up with housework, basically.
Yeah, I mean, almost literally, right?
Once we get all of this phase done with taking care of the grounds here at Kentucky Steam, that's when it's going to move towards the locomotive.
There will definitely be more of a focus on the locomotive once we have our physical plant, more resources dedicated to the locomotive, once we have our physical plant completely in order.
So Jason, we've got a new Thoroughbred on the property. Let's go take a look at it.
Yes, we do. As I mentioned, you know, we're going to be taking a look at our new Thoroughbred we have in the stable. Well, here it is. Norfolk Southern was gracious enough to contribute this SD40-2, originally a Norfolk and Western SD40-2 to us. The day it was donated, it was like fresh off of a train, basically. It's a fully functional locomotive. NS took great care of this thing while it was in service. They got it to us in an unbelievably short amount of time. And, you know, even sent it with a decent amount of fuel. So, I mean, all around, they could not have been any more gracious to us, and have definitely provided us with something that in the future will be an invaluable tool. So, to kind of christen our new Thoroughbred, on the 4th of July, we made very good use of the porch, as it's often called anyway. People refer to this as a porch because, I mean, look at how big it is. It's huge. So we had a small group of local people here whom, you know, because of the COVID stuff, we all regularly work together, yada, 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 all that jazz. And had a barbecue up here, had a grill. It was a great time. And to the best of my knowledge, the first time anybody has ever actually done it, and definitely the first time it's ever been documented. So the last thing to share with all of you guys is our acquisition of 680 ties. This will allow us to get most all of the tracks back into the shop. Neat thing about these ties, they might look a little long, right? Ties are generally 8 foot 6 inches in length. These are 10 foot. Actually, they're 10 foot 6. Why? Why are they so long? Well, they came out of the Muncie, Indiana EMD facility. These came off of the test track. They were put in new in 2012. They had intentions of triple gauging them. They were dual gauge, but they're going back and triple gauging the track with all new custom-made steel ties. So we got them for almost free, and you know, we can keep making this kind of progress. We can get these all installed with the help of everybody out there that cheers us along. You know, every dollar you can contribute towards our endeavors will help us roll on into the future. To learn more about our organization and what we have going on, check us out online, www.kentuckysteam.org, or on Facebook at Kentucky Steam Heritage Corp.
Excellent, excellent. Jason, we'll see you later this year with another update. Thanks so much for showing us around.